great. Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? Hope, do you guys want to get up and do some jumping jacks to get a little more energy? You will not bother me. But my name is Zak MacRunnels. I'm the Royce, there we go. Let's go. My name is Zak MacRunnels. I'm the CEO of Reconstruct. And what we do is we have a visual command center. The previous folks that talked about all the great business processes and the services that are coming, I'm super excited because we're just pure play software. We need all that business process change and digital transformation for all of us to be successful, and selfishly for Reconstruct software to be successful. I'm super excited, the speakers that came before me. So what is the Visual Command Center? So when I'm in a short elevator ride, what I say is, all we do is we track what's there versus what should be there at any moment in time. And guess what? That's kind of a 4D digital twin for the geeks in the room, right? That's really what it's all about. And so what we talk about, what we do at Reconstruct is a visual reality digital twin. I've gotten lots of arguments over the years with other folks in the facilities area, in the ops area, and even my lead investor, in Nevichek, because they really specialize in contextual digital twins. So like smart buildings, tracking the temperature, tracking carbon monoxide, and tracking all the flows. And so what I'm going to talk about today is purely visual reality command center and how that ties together. So you guys know you've heard digital twin. We're after visual reality digital twin. So the things that our software brings together to really provide you key insights for your structures, whether the existing structures or the new structures, is to create measurability, just the photogrammetry. So the old days of needing laser scanners, I love laser scanners, but they're, you have to be trained, they're a little more expensive, and sometimes they're slow. And let's face it, a lot of times, folks at job sites, it's hard work. It's like, gosh, it's hot, especially here. I want to go home. I don't want to be going around with a tripod. And so what we really discovered was to create photograms, and whether it's with videos, drones, crane cameras, and basically create that measurability. Now to about 1.5 centimeters of accuracy. And then the next thing that we do, kind of go with an M theme, measure it, map it, and align it. You let it directly on top of the designs that you have. Doesn't matter if you've got the most advanced form of Tekla, Civil 3D, a 2D floor plan. I'm going to show you some really simple examples. 2D, then we go to 3D, and then I'm going to go to more complexity after that. And so with mapping it on top of, so that you can see the differences and the deltas. Big difference. You look at the left, you look at the right, design, reality. It's really hard. It's like you go to a tennis match and you watch the ball go over the net, right? It's very difficult to see those differences. And so we try to get rid of those differences by putting them on the top where you see the smallest 1.5 kicks at the top. And then the monitoring, what we do together, this makes it 4D for the geeks in the room, right? So this is tying together schedule. For example, our Oracle partner, we're tied to P6. So this is at any point in the past, present, and then more interesting is in the future. You can do 3D look aheads because you know what's there inside here, the Visual Command Center, and then you know what should be here thanks to your schedule. So you can really help planning the teams bringing that P6 to life in 3D. So how does all this come together? Lots of different forms of reality capture. We tie them all together kind of like the lingua franca to talk together. And as a user, as a project manager, as an owner, you don't have to really get into the details of this. You just can see it, and you can live through it and go through it like Superman, and you can walk through and look at the various aspects that you care about. The only things you care about. Monitoring ROI. I heard my previous speakers talk about limiting the rework, reducing carbon footprint. You've got measurability on this stuff. Reducing carbon, sometimes it's decreasing by 100%. X amount, cutting it in half. Travel is a small one you don't think about. When you have to travel across the Riyadh to your job site, if you have to go from Diriyah Gate, over to 7, it takes a long time, right? What about getting a sneak preview of it, aka your digital twin, before you get in a car and drive up across Riyadh? Or how about hopping a flight back to Dubai, or you got another project? So it just saves a lot of time. And that really helps. So innovative org maintenance, I'll show you how that issue management comes in play. Because when you find an issue, then what do you do about it? And kind of close that loop. Integrated with 72 different forms of design. And then P6 I already talked about. This is a very, very simple example, but I want to kind of give you a baseline of how this measurability, why it's important. In the healthcare world, this particular project was a project where it was an office building that was converted into a clinic. And clinics have to have people with wheelchairs, right? So I captured my customer. They walked up for about 8 minutes around this particular office that gets converted to a clinic. And then they created an 8-minute quote video, but then the video, what we did is we turned it into measurability, measuring the thing. So the first thing I captured my customer. What he did was he said, "Hey, can I get a wheelchair through here?" And sorry, it's in the U.S., it's in Imperial. It was 5.5 feet. I said, "Great." And I'm going to measure 500 other things after that. And so again, I'm just giving you the basics. Why does measurability matter? This is kind of a funnel in the retail world. I guess I can say it, 7-Eleven. And so they do a lot of renovations. There's 72,000 7-Elevens around the world. And so this was a plan where they said, "Hey, we've got our blueprint in 2D, and we want to map this and we want to renovate it." And so it turns out they were going to demolish it, renovate it, and they thought the coffee island, see that coffee on the laptop. They didn't realize the coffee island was built 2.5 times, and they totally scrap up the mail lots. And we're going to change plans a little bit before we head out to Winnipeg, Canada for that particular project. This is a nice, simple example more in 3D. Now I'm escalating from 2D to 3D. And so another pretty simple example of pre-concrete tour, where I gotta make sure we get the sleeves in the right spot. Everyone see the blue octagons, I guess. So the octagons that are properly in place, the reality is are the gray circles where the sleeves are, where you bring the conduits up through the concrete. That one's in place, that one's at spec. The others here are probably a good meter and a half away. Not great, because you're gonna have pipes, electrical, you're gonna have to get off the jackhammers. So very, very simple, quick example of value add of doing a design overlay on top of reality. Here's another interesting example of 3D. This is a project in the Netherlands where we're gonna do a quick MEP walkthrough, and we're gonna see, okay, is everything in the right spot? So I'm looking at electrical, mechanical, I'm looking at HVAC as well. And in upper left over there, turn the BIM model. Just saying, okay, is everything in the right spot? And I'm going to show you guys, see the green section? That's what the BIM model says is supposed to be there at that time. But notice very quickly, it's not there. So there's a progress monitoring element to this as well. I thought we were just going to measure for quality. Turned out not there, so I'm measuring a bit of progress as well. This is the project in Neon, out by Jabuuk. Actually, it's Sindala Island, so many of you probably know that. So this is a project that we worked on with the goal of this was to map all the fire sprinklers, make sure they're there, they're on the right spot. And so this particular project, you'll see we overlay the bin as well. And if you can see, it's hard to see, there's a blue fire sprinkler, and then there's a red fire sprinkler. It's like, that could be an issue. We're not really sure. And even in the heads of our customer, beyond and the contractor. And so what they did was they created an issue automatically into a Reconstruct that automatically transported over here to something from Oracle called Equinix. And so it's an issue management system that's fully integrated bi-directional Equinix. So now we can say priority, medium, and my favorite part here is actually two things. Being able to assign a due date. It's one thing to find an issue, but when do you resolve it? Put a due date on it and say, hey, that's full circle, and then you use your LDAP to connect it to your LDAP so you can actually get it out to the right stakeholders. That's just one person, it's not email, it's actually in the system, so you get to the right person, and then you assign it to the right, imagery, so they know exactly, not just like, hey, call me, Joe. It's actually, we need to talk about that high priority thing, actually medium priority thing, and let's either resolve it or fix it. So that is, that's another example of a 3D versus BIM. And that's how we tie together visual reality and digital twin for the for the built below. So this last one I'm going to show you is a quality control example tied in the schedule. So at any point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to do a 2-month look ahead. And so you see the green pillars there? Those aren't there yet. And what we did in P6, System of Integration Portal, P6 we did 2-month look ahead. Hey, we got to get ready, we got to keep the steel on the ground. Because guess what? we got to get that steel up and running in 2 months. So we kind of bring, what we do is we bring the schedule, the Gantt chart. I don't know how many you can deal with these Gantt charts, thousands of lines long, but we bring it to life in 3D. So then any of us stakeholders can actually look at it in 3D. So that's really got the final example at hand and how it all ties together inside this advanced center. So thank you very much.